Then a couple other names we haven't mentioned yet: Cron and Schoop. Still no real idea what's going on there.
Yeah, that's I don't. Yeah, I mean, this makes sense though that we haven't heard anything because like we especially maybe not so much with Scope because he had a pretty solid year last year prior to the injury, but Chrome we expected more or less of this just because he's coming off an injured season. So
And he did he just cleared
yeah, to,
for contact.
yep,
So
exactly.
he's just back from that injury. So yeah, that one makes sense to me. I think it is like encouraging for the Detroit Tigers that no one has signed Scope yet.
Hmm.
That hasn't unfolded.
Yeah,
And so that might mean that the market for him is a little bit lower and colder than we might have worried that it was going to be.
hmm,
And so perhaps that is an encouraging sign that he will be back on the roster this year because I would love to see both these guys back.
yep,
Mostly CJ because we got shortchanged with him
yep.
so badly because it was already a shortened season and then he got hurt. And then Scope I think was one of the great surprises of the roster last year.
Yeah, most definitely. I think out of the two I think we have more of a chance of seeing Crone back than Scope. I feel like Scope will just kind of draw more kind of buzz and attention, but I would gladly welcome either of these guys back. Personally, for me, if it was like you could only have one or the other, I would go the route of Crone for everything you just said. We were kind of shortchanged with him. We know he can hit. We know he can mash the ball. Unfortunately, due to an injury last year, it cut that short. So also, if you put CJ Crone at first, it then can be like, okay, Miguel Cabrera won't have to play here. I know we're going to get that in a little bit. And B, Jamer doesn't have to play here. Keep Jamer at third. I want him to play at third. He's a hell of a defensive third baseman. He's coming off the best season of his career. This could really be, I think, a breakout year for him, kind of building off his success in 2020. Let him play where he's comfortable. Get Crone back. We got shortchanged with them last year. And then, boom, your corners are done. Shortstop, that's kind of up in the air. It sounds like it's going to be Willie Castro. And then second base, too, is kind of a free-for-all right now. Could be Nico. We're going to get to it in a bit, I know, as well. Paredes might be going there. Harold Castro. The list kind of goes on and on. Or then maybe you do see Scope come back. Or another second baseman that we haven't heard of. I did hear some reports that the Tigers were linked to maybe Colton Wong from the Cardinals. So he'd be great. That dude is fast. He'd be great to put at the top of the lineup. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think out of the two, do you agree with that? If you could only choose one or the other, who would you go, Alex, Crone or Scope?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I would go Crone because it does solve some of the Miggy issues.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can find a guy that is a great everyday first baseman, like the rest of your roster can kind of fall into spots, and then if he is hitting really well, he can slide into the DH spot if you want Miggy to play the field, or you have. I think you get a little bit more flexibility out of the roster if you have a strong option at first base. I did like the way Scope hit.
Scope was good, but remember last year with Crone, once he got hurt, it was like the minute he got hurt, the lineup just changed because it was that number 4 guy was gone. The guy who was protecting Miggy and helping him out was gone. And then it just kind of felt, although it just kind of then things kind of fell back to normal. It's like, okay, well now we gotta figure out the lineup woes again. Here we go. So I would gladly welcome both these guys back. Maybe we see them both. I hope we do. If not, I have a good feeling about Crone. I could be totally wrong, but I have a good feeling about Crone. Scope is a little bit more, again, kind of interesting because I think he'll garner some more attention. But we'll see. I definitely think within the next week or two, we're going to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I think right before camp starts, I think
Yep.
we'll have final answers on those guys.